Where were these activist judges when Joe Biden was firing literally thousands upon thousands of federal workers, and governors across the country were firing thousands and thousands of state employees and even health workers and even first responders over failing to comply with a vaccination mandate? Where were these judges when Barack Obama deported over 3 million illegal aliens?
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth. Somebody to the top of the line!
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty, and this is the Afternoon Drive. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. It's the only way that we can get the word out that we're here. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of the Afternoon Drive. We now see how it's going to be. Everything that Donald Trump promised on the campaign trail, he is doing his very best to fulfill, to actually do. Like some of you, I have been rewatching The Apprentice now that Prime Video is re-releasing it. I completed all of season 1. I'm just getting started in season 2. And of course, Donald Trump comes from the business world. They're used to looking at problems and saying, okay, this isn't working, so we'll shift this team to this job and we'll move these people here. And then finally you just start looking around saying, okay, this group of people over here may have some talent, may have some ability, but they don't seem to be able to get along with anybody over here, and you're fired. This is how business succeeds. Now, while we don't want a dictator simply decreeing law, and Donald Trump is not doing that, the idea that he can't fire people as the executive of the country, and every firing has now got to apparently go through some judge, and how some judge in some place like Omaha, Nebraska can tell the president in Washington, D.C. who on Capitol Hill gets to keep their job is it just absolutely blows my mind. And we're saying that this is the protection of democracy, when in reality, this is an overreach by the judiciary. But then again, this is how Democrats have always ruled, from the bench. I remember when I was a teenager and Ronald Reagan got elected, and it was a pretty big night in my house. My dad, lifelong conservative Republican, and Ronald Reagan winning was a big deal. Now, my dad had a best friend that was a Democrat, a liberal, and they did a lot of things together, and he'd come over to the house. And I remember a couple days after the election when my dad was, just kind of had that grin on his face like, yeah, we won. And I remember what my dad's friend said to him, and it has stuck with me these many years. He said, okay, so what? You got the White House. And in a few years, we'll get the White House. And we trade that back and forth. And someday, you might even get the Congress. We kind of trade that back and forth as well. But here's the thing that you got to keep in mind. We've got the courts and we've got the classrooms. And as long as we have the classrooms and have the courts, we have the country. Boom. That was a profound enlightenment and educational moment for me. We have these activist judges that, remember, the Supreme Court, as far as the Roe v. Wade decision, was a complete legislating law that didn't exist from the bench. Democrats know that most of their ideas as far as law proposals go could not pass, will not pass. So they simply make sure that they have flooded the judiciary with left-leaning, leftist judges. We have a judge that tells Donald Trump, you can't deport violent gang members back to their country of origin. Bring those planes back. We didn't. They're in a Venezuelan prison. Funny thing is, that's kind of where they came from. So why Donald Trump has to explain this to this federal judge is just beyond me, when in reality, and I love how the Democrats are saying, him using this worn out law of alien invasion, it's a worn out old law. Well, the oldest law in the land is the Constitution. Should we throw that out too? Because you're always claiming he's not following the Constitution. Well, that's really old. These guys, that's just absolute blatant hypocrisy. But here we have, Doge has done what all of us have been wanting forever: cut the waste. Isn't it amazing? When the waste gets reported, the American people on both party lines and independents overwhelmingly are like, yes, cut all of this. Now a judge is ordering Donald Trump to take these federal workers back. You didn't fire them properly. What about when Obama Biden fired thousands of federal workers over not following the mandate? Governors who fired employees and nurses and frontline workers. And then, of course, all those mandates got rescinded and went away, and we're done now, the pandemic's over. Yet none of the people who lost their jobs got reinstated or got any back pay. So this is what we're in for. Every time Donald Trump makes a move, judges are going to step in. And this is going to happen literally over every deportation. This is just going to keep happening and happening and happening. Get ready. And Chief Justice Roberts putting his thumb on the scale saying, impeaching judges is not a road you want to go down. Really? Was that a veiled threat? But if the Supreme Court would actually do its job and step in here and start telling these judges, look, get out of the way of the executive branch here. You have no standing. The sad thing is the administration is going to win most of these cases. But it's the bogging down, the slowing down, which, by the way, costs more money. So this is all the Democrats got. This is all the left has got. They don't have any real solutions to help you. They just have this. Keep fighting, Mr. President. Keep fighting.